This card don't read so good. Wake up. This card in the set. What the hell is this? Best in show. All right, what is up, my friends? Welcome to the Final Fantasy Complete Set Review. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, support the content. A lot goes into these set reviews, folks, and I really appreciate your support. We're doing all the cards. Every single card for Constructed and Limited. We already did white, blue, and black. Those are on YouTube. Missed them. Go watch them. Check them out. Like those videos too, all right? And we're going over all the cards. We're going to the awards that you know and love. And we're ready to rock and roll. We're going through all of our cards. We'll remind you all real fast about Bronze Mythic. Started a little bit late this time around. June 15th, Sunday, I'll be starting doing episode number 1 and many more episodes. As I'm going to be away during the release week, I'll be at Riot Games doing a little consulting for their new game, Riftbound. Really, really cool stuff. So that's really cool. I'll be back for that. Make sure you don't miss it. And let's rock and roll. Let's get to red. Let's do our thing. First card here is Barrett Wallace. 4 mana for a 4/4 reach. So great limited stat line. Whenever it attacks, it deals damage equal to the number of equipped creatures you control to defending player. This is a great limited card. Really, really good. The sizing here is just excellent and limited. 4/4 reach for 4 is already playable by itself. So even without the ability here, great stuff. And then red and white's all about equipment. You're going to have at least 1 or 2 equipment in your red deck anyway. So a few points of damage here or there, could be a lot more. Amusing how this card actually gives you reach in the game. Like, not the game mechanic reach, the concept of reach being I can win a game where I'm behind. Great limited card. Good stuff. And not playable constructed, but good draft card. Blazing Bomb. 1 mana for a 1/1 elemental. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana is spent to cast it, put a counter on this, and you can tap it to deal damage equal to its power to a creature at sorcery speed, unfortunately. That's a little rough, sorcery speed. But this card's cool. You know, fine little 1-drop. You know, it's got that Mog Fanatic kind of ability. You can put equipment on it and buff it up that way, which is really, really cool. And then there's the mechanic in blue-red, which cares about playing non-creature spells that cost 4 or more. And 1 or 2 of those cards pretty cool. But yeah, fine little common here. Probably not playable in Constructed. There are better ways to do that in Constructed, but fine limited card. Pretty cool. Look for synergies with this card. At face value, this card probably isn't good enough. But once you have those synergies, it can do some pretty good stuff. Call the Mountain Chocobo. 4 mana for a sorcery. Search the library for a mountain card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Make a 2/2 bird token with whenever a land enters. It gets +1/+0. And has flashback for 6. So pretty cool that this will find a mountain to help you flash it back. Kind of call the herd, right? Sort of. Kind of. This card's nice, honestly. So these Chocobo tokens are common in green and red, where the theme is landfall, bird, Chocobo stuff. And that's pretty good, honestly. For the most part, you know, you're putting in 1 land a turn. It's going to be 3/2s a lot of the time. You can do more than that occasionally. But this card's kind of nice. You know, it's a 2/2. It draws a card. Has flashback. A lot of value. Attacks pretty good. Doesn't block very well. And again, I think it's really, really important in Limited to always evaluate your cards based on how well they can block the turn you cast them. That has, you know, befelled a lot of, like, you know, 1/1 flyers for 4 that have really good abilities, but you just, if you're behind, you just can't cast them. So yeah, card's pretty cool. It's also a 4 mana non-creature spell for your blue-red, you know, 4 or more spell cards, like the card we just saw, the Blazing Bomb. So kind of hits a lot of spots, which is really cool. The good commons tend to be able to be good in multiple archetypes for multiple reasons. This card does that. So cool draft card. I like it. And it can get a Taiga or any, you know, non-basic mountain in more powerful formats, but probably not good enough for standard. Choco Comet. How about some more Chocobo tokens? Red X for a sorcery to X any target and then make one of those bird tokens. Card's pretty good. You know, it is very mana inefficient to kill a creature with this, but say you kill a 2/2 and you get a 2/2. 4 mana for a 2/2 that kills something is not bad, and the scalability here is really nice as well. So game goes on, kill a bigger creature. You know, pretty mana inefficient, but, you know, Ravenous Chupacabra-esque. Cool card. Also important to note that this is a non-creature spell for your 4 or more effects. It can be an 8 mana spell for ones that want that, and it also makes a threat too, which is cool. So card's nice. I like this card a lot. Good draft card. Clive, Ifrit's Dominant. 6 mana for a 5/5. We have one of these flip legends. When it ETBs, you may discard your hand and then draw cards equal to your devotion to red. There are a lot of 6-mana cards in this set that draw a lot of cards. That being said, that is not really a desirable thing to have in Constructed. But devotion to red here, the base devotion is 2 on this card as well. You're probably going to have more things in play. So say you have devotion of 5, right? Discard your hand, draw 5. That is cool. I don't necessarily think it's worth 6 mana, especially considering the body is a vanilla 5/5. There's no keywords here, no first strike, flying, haste, something like that. So kind of unimpressive on the front side. For limited, however, the 6 mana tap this to blink it out into a flip card ability is much more relevant. On the back side, we see Ifrit, Warden of the Inferno, a 9/9 Saga demon. And these are creatures that are temporary. And again, I keep saying it, but really important to consider how often these things can attack. This thing will get 1 attack on Chapter 2. Chapter 1, we get a fight, which is basically a kill spell, because 9/9 will win any fight. Then Chapter 2 and 3, you get to add red. And then once you get Chapter 3, it doesn't actually die like most sagas do. It flips back down into Clive, and again, you can discard cards and draw cards. So very, very dominant limited card. If you have to do a thing, it's going to be really, really powerful. Otherwise, I would say mostly unplayable in most constructed formats. I could imagine some sort of like weird Pioneer Nykthos deck that might want this card and, to have a big payoff for being devotion, but probably not. Yeah, this card's fine. Great limited card. Constructed, probably not. But this backside is quite nice. Coral Sword. Well, meant for an equipment with flash. Has an auto equip and gives first strike when it ETBs. Plus Emboso equips for 1. Pretty good card. Plus Emboso first strike for a trick is not quite good enough by itself. But when it leaves behind an equipment that can do multiple things, that's great. So the first thing here is, of course, just sizing, right? It can pump a creature up, be an equipment. But there is so much good equipment synergy in red. Like, seriously, every card in red cares about equipment. So this is a way to have more equipment in your deck and then to play out those synergies at a very, very cheap rate, which is really important. So cool limited card, probably not much more than that, but it's a nice one. The Fire Crystal. So there is one of these for each color. This is the red one. 4 mana for a medallion that does other things as well. The first ability here is all creatures have haste, which is a powerful effect. And then we have 6 mana, tap this to create a token that's a copy of a creature you control. Sacrifice it at the next end step. So this one is actually kind of interesting. This card plays particularly well with Trumpeting Carnosaur, the 6 mana dinosaur from whatever set that is. That ETBs, discovers 5, and then has so you can give it haste and then immediately. Discover 5. It curves into it because it costs 6 mana. And then if you get to copy it, that's insane also. You get a 6/5 haste, discover again. So that's a pretty powerful synergy. Haste is very powerful, and the token copying thing is pretty cool too. Big Red does not really work in the past. We've tried it many, many times, but maybe we'll try it again for 10 new brews. Fool me for the 100th time, and I guess I'll still look like an idiot, but...
I look like a jack.
But, yeah, I don't know. Card's pretty cool. Obviously a commander card. It is a plant for commander, but could be a cool constructed card maybe. And then for limited, it's a weird one. I think it's okay. Probably not amazing, but don't discount the medallion effect. It is quite powerful. Fire Magic. 1 red tiered card here. So for 1 red, we do 1 damage each creature. 3 is 2 damage, and then 6 is 3 damage. Pretty good card, honestly. 1 mana to deal 1 to everything. It's been like a staple sideboard card for a while. And then as is 3 mana instant, deal 2 damage to everything. It's a little fringy, but if you want this kind of effect and you aren't playing your own creatures, this is a pretty cool thing to have access to. Kind of a deck build. There's a toolbox card, and then it's flexible too, right? It's good on 1 mana to kill Lana or Elf. Good on turn 3 to kill a bunch of things, and then things go wrong. 6 mana to kill more stuff. Kind of cool. So kind of cool, honestly. Cool card. Okay, limited card. Flexibility is kind of nice. Power Plasmas do play very well in Nemesis. That is true. Play that at the Pro Tour. And yeah, just a fine card. Nothing crazy. Therian, Wild Rose Warrior. 2 mana for a 3/3. Once again, red equipment in this set. Equip creatures you control with haste. Whenever a non-token equipment you control enters, make a token that's a copy of it, except it has this thing equips for 2, or 2 less, I'm sorry, and sacrifice the equipment at the beginning of next upkeep. This card is kind of gas. I think this card's a possible sleeper. I had a different sleeper in mind for my award, but this is because the honorary sleeper award. This card is unbelievable with Job Select and 4 Mirrodin, where the equipments that make tokens, you now get equipment, token, equipment, token. The equipment's going to die, but the token will stay. And then having haste is pretty cool too. And then you have this equip reduction, which can matter as well for equipping things here and there too. So being a 3/3 for 3, not too bad. Already gives your equip things haste. That's pretty good too. This card's kind of nice, honestly. I think this card's pretty sweet. I don't know if an equipment deck will actually work because it basically never does. But if there is a functional equipment deck in Standard, this is going to be a linchpin for it. And I think this card is quite exciting. I will definitely play this card 10 new brews. Look for it. And then in limited, this card's absolutely bonkers. Just ridiculous. Preposterous. Freya Crescent. The reason why that we didn't get a sleeper award here for the last card is that this card gets it. 1 mana for a legend. It's a mana dork for equipments or equip abilities, and even has flying on your turn, so that if you're looking for a thing to put equipment on, that's really cool. And this card's got a lot going on for a 1 mana creature. It's also a legendary, so for Mox Amber in those kind of formats. This card's pretty sweet. Again, I think that if there is an equipment deck, this card will be front and center. Green don't get Llanowar Elves too often, all right? And here is your green Llanowar Elves. So, card's really, really cool. I don't know exactly what deck this card goes in. Obviously equipment, but like that deck doesn't exist yet. But there's a lot of payoffs for equipment and a lot of equipment enablers already in Standard. And then, of course, in this set as well. So, sleeper card for red is going to be Freya Crescent. And then I think it's pretty good limited too. Seems reasonable. So, cool stuff. Looks awesome. Next up is freaking Gilgamesh. I don't know Final Fantasy if that's a cool name. Gilgamesh Master at Arms. 6 mana for a 6/6. So whenever Gilgamesh enters or attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put any number of equipment cards from among them onto the battlefield for free. Rest go on the bottom in a random order. And when you put 1 or more cards like this onto the battlefield, you may attach 1 of them to a samurai you control. I know 6 mana is a lot. This card's kind of wild. There are, all the 4 Mirrodin cards, all the job select cards. These things making creatures makes the equipment much more exciting. And if this thing just puts in like 2 or 3 creatures, that's pretty awesome. There's also the 5 mana like dragon equipment with 4 Mirrodin that gives haste and flying, I believe, too, to make this into an 8/8 and leave behind a 2/2. So this card's kind of sweet, honestly. Really, really cool stuff. It is on enters and attack. So also, if you give it haste, Cassian is pissed about something. If you put it on the haste card on it, you get to attack again and trigger it again. This card's a sleeper card, folks. Kind of gas. Pretty cool card. Yeah, this card's sweet. Definitely see this card 10 new brews. That's for damn sure. Card likes this card too. Moving on to Haste Magic. 2 mana for an instant, plus so, and haste till end of turn. Exile top card of your library. You may play it until the end of your next end step. So this is an upgrade. We've seen this exact card minus haste before, and it's always been like okay. If you are a really aggressive draft deck, it can be a cool way for card advantage. Giving haste here is a nice little bonus. This is kind of a cool card. If you're a low curve limited deck, this card's pretty sweet. It's hard to know, the sizing in the format on this first review. So like how much a 3/1 is going to win a combat or not. But yeah, this card's cool. Not too bad. Like this card. Hill Gigas. 6 mana for a 5/4. This is your common red land cycler. The land cyclers are set are pretty bad, as they have been for many, many sets in recent memory. 2 pips, so you can't use it to splash. And the body is just pretty damn bad. That being said, there is that like black reanimate spell, which would make this into a 7/6 trample haste, which is pretty cool. But yeah, overall, I would try to not play this card if possible in your draft deck. It's just the rate's just so bad on both sides. 2 mana for a land is bad, and then the sizing is just so bad too. So pretty bad overall. Item Shopkeep is next. 2 mana for a 2/2. Whenever you attack, target attacking equipped creature gains menace until end of turn. That's a filler 2-drop. Just filler 2/2. Very conditional ability. Just kind of whatever. If you're playing the equipment deck, you can get a little value out of this, but for the most part, just a filler 2-drop. Laughing Mad. Woo! 2 mana for Tormenting Voice. Discard a card, draw 2. Flash back for 3. 3 mana for a Tormenting Voice is a lot worse than 2 mana for a Tormenting Voice. This card is pretty bad. I would want graveyard synergies and spell synergies, and even then, even though it's an instant, I don't think this card's very good. If the format was really slow, maybe, but this one's pretty sketchy. Light of Judgment. 5 mana for a instant. Deal 6 to a creature and destroy an equipment on that creature. This is a good sideboard card against equipment decks, being able to kill a thing, kill the equipment. But the rate here is obviously awful. 5 mana for 6 damage is not very good. So this is your desperation removal spell. If you are desperate for a kill spell, you can play this. You can board it in against an equipment deck. But for the most part, this card is pretty stinky. Missidon Elder. 2 mana for a 1/3. And then when this enters, you get that Black Wizard token, the 0/1 token. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you deal 1 damage to each opponent. Kind of a weird card. Typically, creatures that bring along another creature are quite good. But it's not really a creature. It's like a weird enchantment that can jump block. No combat stats here at all. There are equipment, I suppose, because you put equipment on it. But that being said, 1/3 token's kind of cool. I don't know. This card is probably not good enough. If you are a pure spell slinger deck, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, not sure. I feel like this card could be the best common or totally unplayable. I really don't know. Next up is Nibelheim Aflame. 6 mana. 4 mana for a sorcery. It's a mythic. Choose a creature you control. It does target, so they can blow you out with a kill spell, which is not so good. It deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. If this spell is cast from a graveyard, discard your hand and draw 4 cards. These effects are typically very bad. They're kind of like okay and limited, where it's a pseudo wrath, yada yada yada. It really stinks getting wrecked by our removal spell here, where you play the thing and then they kill it. You should absolutely blown out. Flashback here is kind of interesting. Being able to draw cards as well. It's a pretty big, buff. Discard your hand at that point in the game and draw 4, but these cards are almost never good. It's gonna be a fine limited card. Kind of limited card where it's gonna be an absolute blowout sometimes. It's gonna be really hard to use sometimes. Very finicky. But yeah, not so exciting. I don't know. It's a mythic, whatever. The Opera Love Song. I won't sing. 2 mana for an instant. Choose 1. Exile top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards until your next end step. Or 1 or 2 target creatures each get +2/+0. So a modal pump spell here. Or, end step exile 2, untap and do your thing. This is the slowest, the fastest, I don't know, the least efficient of the exile effects, where you cannot play it in your main phase and keep the card till next turn. So you really want to end step it if possible, which makes it really hard to use, but also a little bit of a pump spell. I think this card seems mostly meh. Both sides are pretty eh. There's some flexibility here, but yeah, there's a similar card in the last set, right? That cost 3, so a little bit of upgrade there, but for the most part, this is, I think, only eh. Just did a bad thing. Prompto Argentum. Selfie Shot is now a pair of words on a magic card. 2 mana for a 2/2 haste, which is obviously a good stat line for an aggro creature. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, 4 more mana was spent to cast it, make a treasure. So if you have a lot of mana, you have more mana. I mean, 2/2 haste for 2 is just like a fine stat line and limited anyway. Constructed wise, probably not, but if you're an aggro deck, cool. And the rest of it's kind of whatever. As it is, it's fine, it's cool. Queen Bran. 2 mana for a 2/1 with prowess. when it attacks, make one of those 0/1 black wizard tokens. That's kind of sweet. Being able to make multiples of these is really cool. And then if it's prowess, easier to push through. That first attack is an important one. If you get to back with it again, that's really awesome. So cool is it Spellslinger card for limited. Not good enough for constructed, but Random Encounter. Oh boy, I'm playing this card. 6 mana for a sorcery. Shuffle your library, mill 4 cards. For each creature milled this way, put it into play, give it haste, and at the end step, it goes back to your hand. And you can flash it back for 6 and do it again. Sorry, for 8. This is a pure meme card, and I am for it. Put some cyclers in there. Whatever. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this card. I can almost guarantee there'll be a 10 new brew card on this card. That being said, it's probably completely unplayable. Still a piece of but looks really, really fun. And the problem with this card in limited is it's pretty hard to get enough big idiots in your deck to want to play a card like this. You do get the cards back to your hand, so you do actually draw the cards. So if they live the combat, that is, it's not like you're losing out for nothing. It's not just one big burst. So pretty fun card, definitely more memey than dreamy, but yeah, cool card for constructed, big stuff. I don't know. I like it. I'm going to do it. Probably irresponsible. Rabula. Nope. Raubahn. God damn it.
You're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa.
I've been doing pretty good, I think. All right. Bear with me. Raubahn, Bull of Alamigo. I don't know about this, folks. I kind of just picked a random equipment card. They all look pretty good, but they're usually bad. Best in show, I guess. I feel like the haste guy might be better, but whatever. 2 mana for a 2/2. Ward paid life for its power. More importantly, whenever it attacks, you auto-equip an equipment. So we all know how good it is to skirt the equip costs on equipment because it's very, 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 very clunky. And doing so in a way where you have a creature that's kind of protected, pretty good. Play this thing on turn 3. They don't kill it. You untap and play sort of red and green, whatever the current Swords legal is. Pop it on there for free and get in. That's pretty awesome. So I guess the card's kind of nice. Once again, I don't know if the equipment deck will actually be playable, but basically every card in red in this set is an equipment card. So I had to pick one of them. There wasn't really a way to get around it. So I think this card's really, really good. In older formats, you can do hammer time stuff, but even in standard, just like putting on, whatever, a sword of whatever or something like that, is pretty cool stuff. So I don't know. It's cheap. It's pretty powerful. Great limited card, of course, for all of your equipment, floating around everywhere. Cheap is good and good is better. So there you go. Best in show. Really, really soft best in show though, because I'm really not sure. The red cards are all really confusing because they're all equipment cards. Great limited card, though. Red Mage's Sword. 2 mana for a job select equipment. No initial buffs. This is a 1/1 for 2. However, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +2 +0 until end of turn. And it's also a wizard. It's kind of like a weird... It's the slick shot show-off prowess, which is, I think, worse a lot of the time, especially in limited, where you have... you're unlikely to be able to kind of like push through this damage to be blockers and so on and so forth. So I think this card is fine. Not super exciting. If you are the spell slingers deck, it's kind of cool. It's important to note these are artifacts, equipments that have job select are non-creature spells that are also threats. It can help keep that number up. But yeah, I don't know. Seems like filler. Could be wrong in that regard. This could be an archetype staple for the spell-based decks, but it doesn't read super great to me. Sabatender, 2 mana for a 2/1, reach and landfall. Landfall, deal 1 damage to your opponent. 2/1 reach is a okay stat line. That's fine. Red, green, landfall stuff. Play this thing, deal some damage, trade off with something. 2/1's tough. There are a lot of tokens in this set, so that 1 toughness hurts a lot more. This is a 2/2, I think it'd be a lot better, but mostly a filler common for your draft deck. Samurai's Katana, 2 mana for a job select equipment. +2/+2, trample, and haste is a samurai. So this is a 3/3 trample haste for 3 with equipment synergies and, of course, the upside of being an equipment. That being said, 5 mana to equip is a lot, but the base rate of 3/3 haste for 3 is quite good. So this is a very good limited card. Constructed, if there is some equipment deck that just wants to have a critical mass of equipment, that's possible. It could be a thing, but mostly it's just a great limited card. Ooh, boy, I like this one. Whew. Let's kill some lands, folks. Sandworm. 5 mana for a 5/4 haste. So charging monster soar, almost 1 point toughness less. But when it enters, destroy target land. You get to Ghost Quarter and search for a basic and put it on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. Obviously a good limited card because charging monster soar is just fine. You can massacre your opponent if they have towns in play, but also hit your opponent lands for landfalls. This is a landfall enabler as well for your landfall draft decks. Again, red-green landfall is the theme for red-green. And, I mean, there are a lot of these effects in Standard. If your opponent is playing 2 basic lands and you hit them with a dragon into this, you can definitely possibly get some Stone Rains going. So a little basic land check. You know I love this card. I love a good Stone Rain. So, really good draft card. Fringe, probably not, but Fringe, playable constructed card. I'm in. Love the art, too. Sandworm, Shai Halud. Wrong IP? Wrong. Is that not? Shai Halud not in Final Fantasy? Is that the wrong thing? Sure, whatever. So, Seifer owls me. 4 mana for a 3/4 human knight. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery card mana value 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost and then exile it. So, okay. A 3/4 that has to deal damage to a player to do anything is pretty bad. The fact that you can give double strike immediately is kind of cool, but constructed wise, combat damage triggers on non-hasted, non-evasive 4-drops, not so good in constructed. So mostly a limited card, a quite good one at that. Double strike is very, very powerful. But yeah, limited card, pretty good card, but limited, but not exciting constructed. Self-destruct, fling eat your heart out. 2 mana for an instant. Target you control deals X damage to any target and X damage to itself, where X is its power. The joke here, of course, is Screaming Nemesis, right? So you get to do the thing, deals damage to itself, and trigger, deal damage to another thing. Kind of cool. Also good with the random like fling stuff, you know, Heartfire Hero and yada yada yada. Just kind of a better fling, a little more modal and flexible. And of course, if you just have a 4/5, you can just deal 4 damage, not have it kill itself. It is target creature, so you do risk getting blown out here. So I guess that's true. It is worse than fling in the sense that fling does not target, so you can fling your creature and they can't respond to it. But has upsides, has downsides. Pretty finicky card. I don't think this card will make much of a impact in Standard, being that it is so risky. But I could be wrong. Will probably be in the stupid red leyline deck because they're looking for cards like this, but I don't know. And then limited card is fine. If you have higher toughness creatures, it can work. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's a really finicky card. Probably gonna play worse than it looks, I would think. That's my guts. Side quest in red is to play Blitzball. The mana for enchantment. Being in combat on your turn, a creature gets +2/+0, which is quite good actually. At end of combat in your turn, if you dealt 6 damage or more, transform into a World Champion Celestial Weapon. This is an equipment that auto-equips. Double Overdrive, +2/+0, and Double Strike, and equips for 3. That's pretty good. Obviously, 6 damage is... you deal 6 damage to your opponent, you're pretty happy, you know? Like, that's a lot of damage. But this is a pretty powerful effect, you know. Auto-equipping +2/+0 and Double Strike is quite wild. So this class is pretty good limited, honestly. +2/+0 is nice. And yeah, cool limited card. I think if you're aggressive, this pushes through. Plays well with keywords also. I'm sorry, it's combat damage, period. That is quite good. So, now, if a player was dealt 6 or more combat damage, don't listen to chat, folks, ever. Ever. Chat's wrong. They should feel bad.
I'm tired of the clown show. Tired of it.
Yeah, cool limited card. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, it's nice. Sorceress and Schemes. 4 mana for a sorcery. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard or exiled. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard or exiled card with flashback you own. What? That's the worst sentence I've ever heard in my entire life.
Still a piece of garbage.
Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard or exiled card with flashback you own to your hand. Okay. Add 1 red flashback for 5. That seems horrendous. These sort of regrowth effects are pretty poor. They're just really slow and clunky. It is a 4-mana spell, but yeah, this card seems terrible. It's too expensive. Ugh. Yeah, like obviously if you're like storming or something like that, rituals, etc., maybe, but yeah, there could be a loop with this, I suppose, if you get like medallions in play and stuff, but I'm not a storm player. I don't think about that. Summon Brindadar. It's mana for a 2/1. It's a rare. Again, it can only attack once. Chain, chapter 1, exile top card of your library. During any turn you put a lore counter on this, you may play that card. So, in theory, you can play it for 3 turns, but if it's were to die in combat or die to something else, then you can't play it out of nowhere. Be aware of that. Then chapter 2 and 3 are the first creature you cast each turn gains haste. That is pretty powerful. That being said, this is a 2/1 for 2 that can only attack once, but cantrips. This is probably the card in the set where I have the largest delta from this card could be a standard staple, this card could be the worst thing you've ever seen in your entire life, and I have absolutely no idea.
How did this happen?
Just not a clue at all. The first copy can give the next copy haste, which is kind of cool. And like your opponent can just kill it. And if they kill it immediately, you can't play the chain card because you didn't put a lore counter on it on the turn you play it on turn 2. And you don't get the other effects too. I don't know, folks. This is the weirdest card I've ever seen in my entire life. It looks sort of like Kumano faces Kakazan, and that card's busted, but it is very different. So I don't know. I'm going to hold judgment on this one. I really, really have no idea. Summon Esper Rama. 4 mana for a 3/3. This is the uncommon summon. Chapter 1, Judgment Bolt deals damage equal to the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard. Do a creature an opponent controls, so a removal spell, and then has Wizards that get +1/+0 on a turn. So once again, can attack only once, but it's a removal spell on the front side, which is the important part, and then a little bit of bonus on the attacks and pumps. That being said, how many Wizards do you have? I don't really know. Seems good. Worse than the white one, like this, but seems good. Summon GF Cerebus. Summon Golden Frenchy Cerebus, I guess. I don't know. 4 mana for a 3/3. Chapter 1, Surveil 1. Chapter 2 is double. Cast a next instant or sorcery spell this turn. Copy it, and you may choose new targets for the copy. Chapter 3 is triple. You get to copy a thing twice. That being said, doesn't sound very good to me. Chapter 1's pretty bad. Only attacks once. No keyword abilities. No combat abilities. Very small body. Copying spells is more of the realm of casual things and commanders, so I think this card's kind of meh. Even in limited, I think this card's kind of eh. I mean, like, if you are a spell-based deck in limited, could be pretty cool, but gluten-free Cerebus, Goodfellas Cerebus, good stuff. But yeah, I think this card, it might play better than it looks in limited. Like, copying a kill spell 3 times is pretty cool, but it seems excessive. So, a lot of things need to go right for this card to be good. Summon Gluten-Free Ifrit. 3 mana for a 3/2 common. You may discard a card if you do draw cards, chapter 1 and 2. And then it adds a red on chapter 3 and 4. Note that, again, this guy can attack twice. And realistically, a 3/2 for 3 is not going to attack or block many times. Usually these things trade. This is the standard limited stat line built to trade. Trades to 2 drops, trades to 3 drops. So unlikely it even makes chapter 4, which is fine, honestly. That's a good card, you know. So some graveyard things happening here, kind of cool. A little mana as well. This seems like a fine summon. Yeah, no wheat here. Definitely not. Suplex. It's mana for a sorcery. 3 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead, or exile a target artifact. Sorcerer's Beat of Braid is a lot worse, but exiling is kind of cool. Exiling artifacts is fine too. This seems like an okay card. Fringe Payable constructed. Okay limited card. Chat's going nuts about this story beat. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just freaking out in the woods here. Just no idea. But yeah, you know, the thing is a kind of like your typical destroy evil, abrade, exercise, like fringe cyborg card constructed. And then in limited, it's just okay. Thunder Magic. Boom, folks. Thunder. Bombin Common. This card is great. 1 red instant. It is tiered. So we get 1 red for 2 damage, 4 mana for 4 damage, 7 mana for 8 damage. That is a rare feat. Most red spells cannot kill an 8/8. This one can. Very expensive. Now note this is not shock. This is only for creatures, not for players. So it has that downside. But the flexibility here is quite good. Constructed wise, I can see this card being play constructed. 1 red to deal 2 is a good floor. When you got to kill that bigger creature for 4, doesn't feel great, but it's okay. In limited, it's fine too. And then in limited, like having the ability for a red deck to kill a big dumb green idiot, even for a lot of mana, is really cool. So I think this card is a great limited common. That's why it's the Bombin Common, obviously. But it is also a great card constructed. There's a lot of competition. Burst Lightning, Torch Tower. These cards won't be here forever, but I guess Burst Lightning will. But yeah, great card. Good stuff. All about it. Bombin Common. Triple Triad. 6 mana for an enchantment. When you see cards in the art, it's going to be a very silly card. Beginning of your upkeep, each player exiles top card of their library. Until end of turn, you may play the card you own exiled this way, and each other card exiled this way with a lesser mana value than that card without paying their mana cost. So straight up commander card, terrible and constructed. Have fun, commander players. Do your thing. You're playing on 1-on-1, you aren't getting enough options. In commander, you get 3 options. Cool. Have fun, commander players. Do your thing. I'll see you later. Unexpected request. 3 mana for a sorcery. Threaten. So get a creature, untap it. It gains haste. Give it back in a turn. You may attach an equipment you control to that creature and then unattach it at the end step. Kind of a cool threaten variant. There are a lot of like sacrifice things in black to make the threaten permanent. That is the typical A plus B combo in limited, where you have like threaten plus sack outlet. And then you've got a little bit of upside here from equipment. And yeah, if threaten's good, this card's good. A little upside as usual. Cassie doesn't like it very much, but Cassie's having a night, jeez. Yeah, there you go. So threaten. Come to Van Street Thief. 3 mana for a 2/2. Legendary trap card. This is a really weird one, folks. 2/2 for 3. Whenever 1 or more scouts, pirates, and or rogues you control deal combat damage to a player, exile a top card of a player's library. You may cast it. If you don't, make a treasure. So must cast it right then and there. If you cast a spell you don't own, put a 1/1 counter on each scout, pirate, and rogue you control. Not quite Ragavan, 2/2 for 3, terrible stat line. There aren't a lot of scouts, pirates, and rogues. There are so many conditions here as far as like, you gotta hit. You gotta hit a card you want to actually play. You want to do this, you gotta do that. And then the pumping scouts, pirates, and rogues is kind of too. Why are you throwing things at me?
Sorry.
What the hell was that?
French fry.
Why are you throwing French fries at me? What the Karn's not here, I'm here. What are you doing, Tuts? Yeah, this card stinks. And can start in limited, sure. I think sorry might be fine limited. Even then it's like not amazing. It would count how many scouts, pirates, and rogues you have, but for the most part, this card is going to play a lot worse than it looks. Warrior Sword is next. 4 mana for a equipment with job select. This is a larger job select. +3/+2, and as a warrior. So it's just a vanilla 4/3 with an equipment on it. So for synergy stuff, equipped for 5. I mean, trading off your 4/3 and then having this thing sitting there for if you start flooding, you can make your other creatures big, is pretty cool. 5 mana is a lot. Probably mostly filler. I'd imagine if you are the equipment deck and you want more equipment in your deck, this card can play and do that for you. But it's a little clunky, so mostly limited filler. Zel Dinch. 3 mana for a 0/3. You may play an extra land each turn. It has +1/+0 for each land you control. However, beginning of your end step, return a land you control to its owner's hand. So this must be a Chocobo owner or something like that, because it plays all the Chocobos. The landfall theme in here in this set cares about Chocobo stuff happening, and this gives you a lot more landfall triggers. It's not really like a Zuza or something like that, because you're always bouncing a land back, so you're never getting ahead on lands. There's a lot of landfall effects too. So kind of a cool card. A unique effect if there is some sort of landfall thing happening. We do have cards like Bristly Bill already in standard. You have Tifa coming as well in green, the Chocobo stuff. So this card could do some things. I think this card's kind of cool. Definitely needs to be in a deck. This is not a raw power card. This is a synergy card, but pretty cool. And then in limited, if you are the red-green landfall deck, this is the rare you want. Does a great job there. Yeah, really, really cool stuff. So to recap, in red, best in show, Raubahn, Bull of Lamigo. Our sleeper card is Freya Crescent. Our trap card is Van Street Thief. And our Bombin Common is Thunder Magic. Folks, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment, leave it in the chat. Appreciate your support. A lot of work goes into set reviews. I don't want you to miss out on them because I'm not doing them anymore because people aren't doing stuff. So hit the buttons, do the things. Check out 10 New Brews this Wednesday. I'll be playing all these cards, not all, but a lot of them, you know, and that'll be a lot of fun. I hope to see you there. Otherwise, folks, I'll see you in green. Like, comment, subscribe. See you soon. Bombin Common, not Bomb Uncommon. I know, I get it. All right, I'm sorry. All right?
I'm stupid, you're smart.